We didn't get relegated! We also didn't win any more games. We've still got 2 games to go. It's been rotten form again, but luckily that bunch of games that we had over the last couple of days has been enough, and I've once again managed to miscalculate the point where we would be safe, and we got the final 2 games of the season anyway. Hello and welcome to part 141 of Backing the Boro. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have those final 2 games of the season, away against Man City and away against Villa. We're not good away from home. We'll probably lose them both. We've not been good anywhere, really, since the Leeds game. That was all the excitement in the last episode. We've had 6 league games since then. To be fair, we have only lost 3 of them, which is far better than this form that we had early on in the season. Picking up 3 draws. Some of them more impressive than others. Middlesbrough were lowest in the league, but it was away from home. Bournemouth I'm particularly disappointed with because they were around us in the league and we didn't look competitive at all. We were always supposed to lose against Newcastle and Liverpool. We managed to scrape a draw against Tottenham, and I'm actually quite happy with the draw against Everton as well. So bearing in mind the teams we were playing, it's not been disastrous form. We will though lose against Man City. And probably against Villa as well. This is how the league table looks with 2 games to go. We are back down to 17th place, but importantly, we're 9 points clear of Burnley. Burnley, Brentford and Leeds have all been relegated. And it would just be nice now for us to, if we could grab a win against Villa, who are just a few places above us, then we finish the season level with the Kev ratio, 38 points from 38 games. It'll be our best ever season in the Premier League. And then we can really start building for next season. Talking of building for next season, we already have started building stuff and getting things ready. Enoch Nuhu, our star man and top scorer from this season, joins permanently from Bayern Munich in the summer for £5 million. Michael Jones is leaving. He's going to Club America. He wasn't any good anyway, was he? And we're also trying to sign this guy, Jim McAllister, who's an attacking midfielder but also natural as a central midfielder. 22-year-old Scottish international who's better than Nuhu but also would be competitive in our midfield as well, where he's as good as the likes of Hayes, Fazio and Luanda. Fazio we can't sign permanently because Tottenham wants £70 million for him, so we will try and get him on loan for another year. And then fingers crossed, tomorrow we will have a live transfer window. So if you're watching this when it first comes out, that'll be Thursday. It'll be alright. We won't do a live transfer window and an episode. It will just be a transfer window tomorrow. I don't know at what point of tomorrow it will be because it's the school summer holidays and planning it around the kids is a challenge. But watch this space. Follow me on Twitter at lollujo. I will let you know. There's a chance it might even be tomorrow evening, but just like I say, watch this space. I will let you know as and when the stream for the transfer window happens. But this is our team for the game against Man City. We are going with Vujicic in goal, a back 4 of Joksimovic, Brodic, Holmqvist and Carrascal, with Fazio, Wanda and Stojanovic in midfield and Wagner in behind Nogueira and Kraljevic. Nuhu is injured. That's why we signed him when we did, because he picked up an injury. And I thought, you know what? I can't have that being his final moments with the club. Let's see if we can sign him permanently. And goodness me, we could sign him permanently. Yes, we've looked good in training. These 2 games are going to be a bit of a test of Wagner to see if he's actually going to be any good for us, because McAllister, that was his name, wasn't he? The guy from Celtic who we're looking at bringing in. If Wagner is rubbish in these 2 games, then we definitely bring him in. We go with Nuhu and McAllister as our attacking midfielders next year. And we probably look to move Wagner on and just call him another one-season failure. We've had a lot of those. There's been some churn of players since we've been in the Premier League. Obviously, Michael Jones being the latest one to not even last a full year with us. But if Wagner looks good, then we'll have a little ponder about McAllister and decide if we want to bring him in as a kind of a third attacking midfielder plus who can also play central midfield. Wagner can play central midfield as well. He started a few games recently in the midfield 3. That was a good finish, wasn't it? And then we need to plan what we need for the summer. I mean, I think my summer shopping list is quite a short one this year. I kind of just want 2 players. I think we're set for goalkeepers. It would be nice to have a better backup than Egan, who still hasn't played since that own goal. But we have got Marshall Wart, who's out on loan, who can sort of draft him back in as a backup maybe, or just sign a youngster who can come in as a backup to Vujicic. Vujicic is our best player. We don't need to be signing another Premier League quality goalkeeper. It's a bit of a luxury to have in the squad 2 real top quality goalkeepers. So I think just having 1 real top keeper is enough. Although he's not showing it today, is he? But he is our best player. Fullbacks, I think we're sorted for fullbacks as well. Carrascal and Persson are great at right back. We've got Joksimovic at left back. If we can sign Robertson on loan from Man United for another year as backup, that would be great. They want £100 million to bring him in permanently. So we might need to bring in a backup left back if we can't get Robertson on loan again. And then at centre-back, Brodic, Holmqvist, I think they're both eventually going to be Premier League quality players. Tommy Taggart is one of our few highly influential players, and he's a decent Premier League player. We probably don't need to move him on yet. There is a gap that has been left by Jones, though, and I would like to fill that gap with a more experienced Premier League quality centre-back who can then play alongside either Holmqvist or Brodic, so they don't have to play together too often. They're both I think they're both 21, and they both are a little bit mistake-prone still. So I'm looking at I wouldn't even be averse to a 33-year-old who's played the last 15 years in the Premier League for like Arsenal or Man United or somebody, like a real top level centre back who's on his way down, or a 26, 27-year-old who's got Premier League experience, maybe even stealing from one of the relegated teams. I don't know, we'll figure something out. But just a little bit more experience. Someone who could be captain on occasion at centre back would be nice. So definitely quite an expensive centre-back purchase is needed. Midfield, I think we are absolutely fine. Wanda will be our captain next year. It would be nice to get Fazio on loan for another year, but even if we don't, we've got our other midfielders knocking around there, the likes of Stojanovic, Wagner, Nuhu, this new guy, what was his name? McAllister, if we manage to bring him in as well. I don't think we need an additional midfield player. Maybe it would be nice to bring in a proper replacement for the likes of Levi Hayes, who just isn't really Premier League quality. Or if we can't get Fazio on loan, we'll obviously need to replace him if we can't extend his loan for another year. We don't have a right back to bring on. Robinson's going to have to play at left back even. Never mind, I'm sure he'll love it. And then attacking midfield, we're absolutely set, especially if we bring in McAllister. But then up front is where I want to spend my money, because there have been games this season, and I know there have been plenty of games where we've been absolutely rubbish and we've not looked with it at all and we've not created any chances, and you can't blame the strikers for those games. But on the flip side of that, there's games like when we played Bournemouth recently, when we played Middlesbrough recently. I think in both of those games we had 5 clear-cut chances and we didn't score a single goal. Our strikers just aren't up to it. There's a perfect example. Kraljevic, who just 2 episodes ago, or might have been yesterday, I was describing as our most natural looking striker. He's been playing constantly pretty much since then and still hasn't scored a goal in that time. So we don't have a Premier League quality striker. And Aguero has weighed in with some important goals recently, but at best he's going to be a support striker. We need that advance forward, that poacher, that guy. I'm not even going to be silly and claim we can go and get a 30 goal a season Premier League striker. I don't think we're going to be close to competitive for that kind of player, but a 15, 20 goal a season Premier League striker, I don't think is unrealistic. If we get the kind of transfer budget we got this summer and we're only bringing in McAllister, Nuhu, maybe a centre-back for, let's say, 10, 15 million quid, like I'm talking a good centre-back for us, we could potentially have 30 or 40 million pounds to go out and spend on a striker. And I think I will be inclined to spend it on just one striker. Holmqvist has been rubbish. And in fact, we're going to take Kraljevic off as well and bring Lazic on and see if he's going to be the Premier League striker that we need so much. But go out and really spend big on a player who can grab that 15, 20 goals that we don't have at the moment and turn some of these narrow defeats into draws and turn some of these draws into wins and just be the kind of player who makes a 10, 12, 15 point difference for us over the course of the season and turns us in from being a team that's in a relegation battle to a team that is comfortably mid-table. And I think that would be an excellent goal for us next year. Comfortable mid-table, maybe flirt with one of the cups a little bit, but realistically not going to have a chance of winning one. But I think we need that proper Premier League centre-back and proper Premier League striker to be able to do that. Goalkeeper sorted, midfield sorted. Fullbacks, very good, he says, as Robinson gets himself sent off. I mean, that's potentially... Oh, who just got sent off? Stojanovic. I don't understand. That was Robinson, wasn't it? That's weird. You lot now have the luxury of being able to go back and consult the tapes. I know I could use the in-game replay. I'm going to use the in-game replay. I never do this. But I need to see what just happened. Was he just sent off for arguing? I don't want to see your stupid replay. I want to see what happened here. Is that going to give me the replay of the instant? No, I don't want to see the penalty. I want to see the lead up to the penalty. Right, here we go. So what happens here? Right, so that's Stojanovic, I think. Brodic. Robinson makes the foul. So Robinson is called over by Chris Kavanagh. Yellow card. Red card. He's already been booked. There's no mention of Stojanovic in there. Robinson got a second yellow card and Stojanovic got sent off for it. The game is absolutely messing with me. How am I supposed to compete in these circumstances where they're sending off the wrong man? The question now is, does the game understand that it's made a mistake? Can I appeal that? And now we're going to... Joksimovic is now going to get sent off, so presumably Wagner leaves the pitch now. So we've lost... So yellow card, and it is Joksimovic who's been sent off. And he actually is sent off. But I mean, this is troublesome now. Oh dear. It's back to the good old days. Back when we'd give away penalties and have red cards all the time. This is what happens when we go away from home against a team pushing for the league title. We revert to form. You haven't seen us play like this for ages. It's been like 3 or 4 episodes since you've had us getting absolutely thumped, giving away penalties and getting players sent off all over the place. It's good to have one last go of old school Nuneaton. We will never play like this again. But I do feel hard done by that the wrong man's been sent off there. Although it's probably for the best, because if we'd have had both of our left-backs sent off in this game, then we wouldn't have had a left-back to play in the next game. So at least now Robinson can play at left-back in the next game, and while Joksimovic is suspended. So, you know, every cloud and all that. With Carrascal injured as well, we might have to play Rwanda at right-back, although we've got Persson, I guess. I don't want to have to play Rwanda at right-back, even though, according to coach reports, he's our best right-back by a million miles, but he's also our best midfield player. So I am never likely to waste him at right-back. So the only way you're ever going to see him play at right-back is if he's still here in 3 or 4 seasons' time, when we're up there challenging for the Europa League, and he's a squad player, and he might drop in at right-back occasionally. I mean, it does bode well for his future. We've got a good central midfield player who can also play right-back. I know of an Nuneaton player who fits that criteria. Right, so Carrascal fractured his ribs. Your season's done, sir. Joksimovic is suspended, and Stojanovic suspended as well. Do I not get to argue with the fact they've sent off the wrong man? No. Well, let's go play Villa. A few changes for the Villa game, then all of them forced upon me. Persson comes in at right back for the... injured. Carrascal's injured, isn't he? Yeah, and Joksimovic and Stojanovic both suspended. So Robinson comes in at left back, and we bring Hayes into the central midfield. I've also brought Lazic in up front for the also injured Nogueira. So 4 changes in total. And we've basically got no first team squad now outside of the team and the subs that are going into today's match. Everyone else involved in the squad is either injured or suspended. We want a win here, boys and girls. A win here, and we end the season level with the Kev ratio. Plus, we get one over on who I guess would be our main local rivals these days. Coventry, a long since a thing of the past, way down the leagues. Forest, who we ground share with, they're down in League 2. Leamington and the like, our traditional rivals, obviously all still down in non-league. So I guess Villa are the closest that we've got these days to local rivals. So it'd be nice to get a win against them. Not that the game even recognises them as local rivals, I don't think. Of course, we won't be ground sharing with Forest next season either, because the what will be renamed as the Sir Tom Elliott Arena, once I watch the second yellow card video that tells me how to do it, we move into the Sir Tom Elliott Arena next season, which is going to be awesome. We're already losing against Villa. 22 minutes on the clock, and it's a fairly typical Nuneaton goal to concede. Someone gets in behind us, crosses it to another fella who's also in behind us. I did make an offer for a £50 million 5-star current ability centre-back from Atletico Madrid. it was accepted. I haven't got 50 million quid to spend. I haven't been given my transfer budget yet. But he's Croatian, so I thought, well, Brodic is Croatian. It would be nice to have the Croatian national team central defensive partnership together at the back. And he did come up on my scout reports, but he wouldn't even discuss terms. So the whole buying Premier League quality in those positions might be easier said than done, because obviously we still have the reputation of probably at best a League One team. So when these big players are looking at coming and joining us, they're not that keen. Although we did sign Vujicic and Luanda and players like that who they were experienced Premier League players, obviously off the back of a relegation. We've just scored a goal, Lazic. We've scored a goal from a striker who's not Nogueira. This hasn't happened for a long time. Now, Lazic has been one who hasn't really had much of an opportunity this season. When there's been times where he could have had a chance, he's been injured, and he's generally been our fifth choice striker. But that is a nice little finish. And could this be Nikola Lazic announcing himself as a player to keep an eye on for next season? It's with Lazic again, back to Luanda, to Kraljevic, crosses to Lazic again, and it's a decent attempt, but straight at their keeper. Although we have now had two clear-cut chances, which is, I mean, it's a nice little novelty to be playing decent attacking football again. Hayes loses out on it in midfield, and it's a ball over the top again. Because you know how much we love the ball over the top, and of course it leads to a goal again. And I would say Vujicic should probably do a little bit better there. For a player who's described as our key player, the best player at the club, we spent 27 million on him. He's our record signing. And I know he doesn't have much of a defence in front of him, but you've got to do better than that. We spent £27 million to not concede that kind of goal. But obviously, he's our goalkeeper for the long run. unless he decides he doesn't want to play for us anymore and he wants to go and play in Europe and someone offers big money for him. I don't ever see us getting to the point where we sign a better goalkeeper than Vujicic. Certainly not until we're a Champions League club, which at the moment feels like a blooming long way off. Oh, it feels like a long way off. Right, Hayes crosses towards nobody, really. Fazio to Wagner. And Wagner, I said he had to step up. That's his second goal in 2 games. Wagner has made the step up. And, we've just spent 5 million quid on Nuhu. But we might have 2 good goal-scoring options in attacking midfield next year. And if we can't sign a striker, especially if we bring McAllister in as well as a third option in attacking midfield, and I know how much it troubles me to fiddle with tactics, but if we've got Nuhu and Wagner both breaking through from midfield, winning penalties and scoring goals, perhaps we do a 4-3-2-1 and just play with one striker and both Nuhu and Wagner in behind that one striker, and Kraljevic from the penalty spot. I think that's the first goal he's scored this year. It's his 9th of the season, but I think from the moment I gave him the Kev vote of confidence, it's pretty similar to a kiss of death, he's not scored a goal. So he's now tucked a penalty away on the final game of the season. There's positives to come out of this game, everybody. We've had a new striker emerge, a striker I thought was good finally score a goal again, and Wagner showing me that he's just as good as Nuhu. Right, we don't have really any defensive options to bring on, so we're not going to make any changes back there. Kraljevic hasn't been very good, so let's bring Ilis on for Kraljevic, and let's get Mulan on as well in midfield for Hayes, and make that our double change. This might be the last we see of Fazio. It might be the last we see of Robinson at left back. I'm hoping to sign them both on loan again for next season. They'll be our 2 domestic loans if we can get them from Tottenham and Man United. And once again, you've got to say, Vujicic shouldn't be conceding there. And I know it's taken a big deflection, so perhaps that is a little bit harsh. Yeah, that's a little bit harsh. It's not his fault at all. But it's another scrappy, sloppy goal for us to concede. And now we need to go and grab a winner. I want to finish the season on a high. I want to finish the season on the Kev ratio. Let's take off Fazio, bring on Levi Hayes, who just for one more game is still officially the club captain. This is probably going to be his final appearance, because we'll look to move him on in the summer, officially make Luanda our captain. But it'd be nice for Hayes to leave with a goal. Levi Hayes, everybody, leaving with a goal. 4-3 on 84 minutes. Our captain who maybe if we'd have let him play a few more games this season could have led us in this manner a little bit more often, and we wouldn't have been in this mess. But Levi Hayes tucks it away. Surely we don't throw it away from here. And I tell you what, the best thing about this is we're ending the season with a proper Kev game. 3-4 away from home. Can we grab a fifth? Mulan plays it forward to... No, I mean, there's no blue shirts there, but it comes back to Mulan. It's with Lazic. And now Hayes over the top towards Wagner. Can he grab his second of the game? Forces a save out of the Villa keeper, who, by the way, is another keeper we tried to sign back in their goal. He's rated 100 on the scout reports. We couldn't afford him. But we tried to sign him when we tried to sign Vujicic. But because Stoke were on the way down and Villa had just got promoted, it was easier to lure Vujicic to us than it was back, who was going to get Premier League football anyway. Right. Luanda to Wagner. Iris, we're knocking the ball around beautifully. And it's another effort on target. We've got two of the best goalkeepers in the bottom half of the Premier League in this game. And they're both conceding goals for fun. Welcome to the last day of the season when nothing really matters, everybody. Don't concede now. We don't. We pick up a big away win on the last day of the season. And most importantly of all, we have finished on the Kev ratio. We still haven't managed to have a Premier League season where we hit the mythical 40 points. Hopefully that comes next year. But hitting the Kev ratio and finish 11 points clear of relegation, that feels like a much more positive end to this season than last. Do we get budgets? No. I'll be back in a moment with budgets. While we wait for the budgets, we may as well go through this stuff that we don't get to go through very often. So the overall Nuneaton best 11, by the way, best goalkeeper of all time is still Robbie Nadat, who's now playing for Braintree down in the Conference North, aged 31. I mean, maybe you lot were right about Robbie Nadat, but he is still officially our best goalkeeper ever. A back four of Anderson, Laskowski, Sawyer and Ibrahim. Josh McDonald in midfield, inexplicably. Andrew Skelton in midfield as well, though, who's now playing for Wolves. So he's made it back to English football from Celtic and playing in the Championship. So we're now officially too good for Andrew Skelton. James Ball alongside him with Richardson. That's interesting. I'd have always had Ball there. And there must be other midfield options. So Tom Elliott, for example, who could have got into that midfield. And then Sedwin Scott and Dan Fisher up front. I don't think we ever got to see that partnership. On the bench, Linus, Hughes, Elliott, Johnson, Ruggles, Taggart and Chambers. How did Ruggles get on this season? Playing for Portsmouth, down in the Championship. I mean, that says it all about Chris Ruggles, really. He was never going to be Premier League standard for us. Sheesh. Weird that it's taking so long for some of our newer, better players to make it into this. How long until we start to see some of these names disappear? The likes of Sawyer and Ball probably won't, because they've played so many games. Anderson, Fisher as well, probably. But surely Vujicic has to take over from Nadat fairly soon. Linus is still our backup keeper at the moment, though. End of season awards, Nuhu Player of the Year, followed by Kraljevic, who hasn't scored since Christmas until just now, and then Fazio Goal of the Season, Oanda Signing of the Season, called it the day he arrived, and Nuhu Young Player of the Season. So that's our Team of the Year. Looks about right. Yeah, a little bit young at the back there, and no goal scorer. That's Kev's official review of our current team. Our side of 2026, where are they now? I can't even remember who we had in 2026. Joe Anderson's the only player still at the club because he's our under-18s manager. And ploughing through his coaching licences, he's going to go and be a manager somewhere before too long. And I kind of need him to because Luca Ercolani wants to come in as our under-18s manager, but we can't sack Joe Anderson. I might have to move Joe Anderson up to the under-23s and bring Ercolani into the under-18s. Who else have we got? Where are they? So Skelton we already know about. Ibrahim is now playing for Bourges Peronas in the French lower leagues. I mean, it didn't really turn out well for him, did it, either? Lee Weaver for Grimsby. Josh Sawyer at Millwall. New Omar playing for Stevenage. 29 now, New Omar. Original Omar's just been sacked by Leeds. Anyone else of note on here? Josh McDonald's playing for Bolton. Jake Laskowski for Cambridge. Squire Bill is playing for Scunthorpe. He's now 30 years old and playing in non-league. Poor old Squire Bill. Never quite reached the heights of Sir Tom Elliott. And then there's some players who've presumably retired at this point. Our dynamics is still a mess. We need a team leader. And we still haven't got any budgets. We'll be back soon with budgets. Ignore the fact I'm trying to sign a player. We'll talk about him on the live stream tomorrow. We want to look at the budgets. So here we go. Budgets for next season, we want this to be about 50 million. Oh, we can already see that's 46 million quid. What a spoiler. 46 million pounds, though. That is plenty of money. We are going to have some fun and we've increased our youth category as well. Marvellous. We're going to have some fun on this live stream tomorrow. Like I say, keep an eye on my Twitter and I will let you know on there when I'm going to be streaming. It could be in the day. It could be around about tea time, normal episode time. It could even be in the evening. I won't know until we see how the day presents itself. But hopefully you will be around for that and then back for the normal episode at 4 o'clock on Friday. If you have enjoyed this, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.